What's going on, everybody? Rob Dauster here from the Field of 68. And today we're going to bring you another episode in our NBA Draft Prospect Profile series. These are going to be dropping throughout May and throughout June, a couple a day. So if you do like this content, make sure you subscribe to the channel and do hit that like button. Anything that you can do to interact with these videos, it really does help the channel. It helps more people like you find this content. And since I have you here, make sure you check out our Instagram and TikTok pages. We are going to be pumping out more unique content over there throughout the spring and the summer, heading into the 2022-23 college basketball season. Like, for example, did you know that Penny Hardaway was shot when he was in college? I didn't know that. You can find that story right now live on our TikTok and Instagram pages. The links for those are in the description below. So without further ado, let's get into another Field of 68 NBA Draft Prospect Profile. Welcome back to another episode of the Field of 68's 2022 NBA Draft Prospect Profiles. My name is Rob Dauster. I have with me today the host of the Game Theory Podcast, a writer for The Athletic, and the best NBA draft content creator that there is on the internet, the one and only Sam Vecenie. We are going to be talking about Malaki Branham today, Sam's Ohio State Buckeye. He is a 6'6" shooter with a 6'10" wingspan. He averaged 14 points this past season, 3.6 boards, a couple of assists. His shooting splits, though, Sam, this is what stands out to me: 50% from two, 42% from three, 83% from the free throw line. And if you cut this down to the last 17 games, I am stealing the stat from your mock draft. He averaged 17 points, shot 53% from the floor and 43% from three. Talk to me about Malaki Branham.
It's all about shot making with Malaki. It is what it is, man. He is an absolute shot maker. He's more comfortable from the mid-range right now than he is from three. If you look at the three-point attempt number, it's not super high, but man, is he a good mid-range shooter. He can get to that spot off of one dribble, two dribble. He can hit a crossover to get to it. He's just awesome. And then on top of it, very physical driver. He's not super strong through his lower half, and I worry a little bit about how that's going to translate to the next level as he potentially gets bumped off of his spot a little bit easier. And while he's physical, he does tend to lean away a little bit more from contact when actually attempting shots at the basket, which is why his free throw attempt rate is also a little bit lower for a guy like this. But man, 6'6", 6'10" wingspan, has the frame that you're looking for, has the shooting ability that you're looking for. Very simple mechanics off the catch, very nice little set shot. And then off of the pull up, really elevates into that pull up, has a good release point. I think he has a chance to be a high level second unit offensive runner for a team, while also potentially being in the starting group due to his ability to shoot the basketball.
Yeah, the thing that always stood out to me about him, and I think you're right about the strength. I'm a little less concerned with that because I think once you get him in an NBA strength and conditioning program, that he will be able to get stronger and get more like it look kind of like a freshman playing in the Big Ten. And there's like freshmen are supposed to be freshmen in the Big Ten. What stood out to me, I remember this, the very first game that they played, they were playing Akron at home. They were down by one. They were down late in the game, and Chris Holtmann, the Ohio State head coach, ran 4 straight plays for him in like the final 2 minutes. Called his number every single time. He scored on 3 of them. On the last one, they're down by 1 with like 4 seconds left. He ran another play for Malaki, and he made the right read and found, I think it was Zedkey for a wide open layup. So from the very, very start of that season, playing with an All-American, that was the guy that they were going to at the end of games and big possessions. And to me, that's what really stood out.
So that's what stands out. Here's what I'm worried about. Ohio State, there were a lot of times this year where they could not keep him on the floor on defense. It was really bad. They were something like 7 points worse per 100 possessions when he was on the court defensively than when he was off the court. And some of that is look like he came in for Jamari Wheeler at times. He played a lot with Jamari Wheeler, though. Jamari's a stud defender. Like there were too many moments where he was just a complete non-entity defensively, given what his frame is. I mean, he's 6'6", he has long arms. Like he should be able to be disruptive. He should be able to make an impact. He just didn't. He was really poor on closeouts. He didn't really take great angles, I thought, at the point of attack. Like didn't really know how to drop his hips. It was He's just not an impactful defender right now. And that's what worries me. If he's not going to be an impactful defender, you're talking about a sixth man at that point. And I know I've heard some lottery buzz for Malaki. I'm a little bit lower on him than that. I have him in the 20 range as opposed to like the, 12 to 14, 10 to 15 range that I hear his name being kind of bandied about with. I just worry quite a bit about the defense and just hope that he can kind of figure out a way to make that end of the court work.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where I'm at with him too. I would not be surprised if you see him go somewhere in that like 14 to 16 range, just because if you love what he can do offensively and you love those physical tools, like I'll bet on being able to teach someone how to sit in a stance, right? Do a bunch of slide drills, have them jump rope, get those feet quicker, figure it out. Yeah. But so I get it. To me, like he's a guy that's all about upside if you're going to draft him that early. Right. Like you see the scoring and you just say, I'm going to take someone with those physical tools and I will make them a great defender.
Yeah, no, I agree. And look, like I want these Ohio State Buckeyes, my beautiful alma mater. I want them to succeed. I want them to be great. Having said that, like we've done 2 videos now. We've done EJ Liddell and we've done Malaki Branham. This was not a great team this year. And they have 2 potential first round picks. I don't think it's the coaching. I actually think Chris Holtmann does a great job. At what point, like, are we maybe thinking about this? Like, okay, maybe Ohio State, yeah, they had 2 first round picks, but did they really? Like, why weren't the results better at the end of the day?
Yeah, I think there's part of it is you have a freshman that didn't really come on until the end of the season. I think part of it was they dealt with so many injuries and so many different issues. And I think part of it is Malaki Branham can't guard. And you're also running out Zed Key, who is like not really known as a great defender. And Justin Aarons was on the floor for a while too. And like, who's he going to guard? I mean, can he check you, Sam? So I think there were issues with some of the pieces around there that did get helped with injuries that they had, to answer your question. But again, Malaki Branham, you're not, correct me if I'm wrong here. You're not drafting him because you think he's going to go average 17 points a game as a rookie. You're drafting him because in 3 to 4 years, you think he's a guy that can be a 15 to 16 point per game scorer, someone that can light teams up off the bench.
Yeah, exactly. Like he'll probably average 17 a game in the G League next year. Like throw him down at College Park, throw him down with the Mad Ants. Like he'll average, something like 20 a game next year in the G League. And that'll be the trajectory here. I don't expect him to be an immediate impact player in the NBA. It's really hard. These guys that tend to come in early and succeed in the NBA that go outside of the top 10, they're guys that defend, right? Your Herb Joneses, your Ayo Dosunmu's, guys like that, unless teams are just really strapped and need someone that can come in
and
and create
old guys,
offense, right?
It's the old, like, look, the NBA is the best basketball league in the world. Do you know how many 19-year-olds can go into the NBA and actually have an impact? Not a lot of them.
Yeah. It's very rare. There's very rare. And what I would tell you is that last year is an anomaly. Last year's draft was absolutely exceptional in terms of depth, in terms of high-level talent at the top. Don't look at last year's class and think this year is a disappointment based off of that. Look at last year's class and say, this was an anomaly. This was absolutely fucking exceptional that we had all of this influx of great talent that entered the league at once.
Yeah, well, listen, this was another episode of the Field of 68 2022 NBA Draft Prospect Profiles. We just took a look at Malaki Branham. If you go back and look through the channel, we have more than 40 of these videos. Today's guest, Sam Vecenie. Make sure you subscribe to the Game Theory podcast. I will have the YouTube channel and his Apple feed in the description below. Sam, appreciate you being here.